So it's called the WOW signal from 1977. And I checked it. Turns out that it came from about the same direction in the sky.
In 1977, astronomers detected one of the most mysterious radio signals ever recorded, a transmission that lasted just 72 seconds. But it didn't sound natural. It sounded intentional. We now know it as the WOW signal. For almost 50 years, scientists have tried to explain it. But every proposed natural explanation falls apart under scrutiny. The signal remains one of the strongest hints that an intelligent source might exist out there. But now something new has entered the story. A strange object called 3IATLAS is moving toward our solar system, and it's coming from almost the exact same region of the sky where the WOW signal originated, and this is where things get unsettling. Atlas is not behaving like a normal comet. It's glowing green when it shouldn't. It's releasing nickel gas at temperatures where nickel should remain solid. Its movement and energy output break multiple models of comet behavior. This isn't a small anomaly. This is something we have never seen before. So the question becomes, is this just an unbelievable coincidence? Or has the source of the WOW signal finally revealed itself? Could 3IATLAS be connected to the first message humanity ever received from beyond our planet? Are we witnessing the beginning of first contact? The story begins in August 1977 at Ohio State University. The Big Ear radio telescope was quietly scanning deep space when suddenly something appeared in its data stream. Not noise, not static, a clean, focused, structured signal. It was so precise that astronomer Jerry Amon circled it on the printout and wrote a single word beside it. Wow. That's how the signal got its name. It was narrowband, meaning intentional frequency control, locked to the hydrogen line, the universal language of space. Blue shifted toward 3IATLAS is acting so strangely that scientists are being forced to consider ideas they normally wouldn't even say out loud. Some researchers are now asking whether this could actually be some kind of artificial object. There's a theory called an asteroid ship, where an advanced civilization hollow-outs or modifies a rocky object and uses it as a long-range spacecraft. It sounds like science fiction, but when something in space refuses to follow the rules, scientists have no choice but to expand the possibilities. What makes 3IATLAS even harder to explain is that this isn't just one odd behavior. Every new observation adds another anomaly, another contradiction, another detail that simply does not match anything we understand about comets or asteroids. It's like trying to solve a puzzle where none of the pieces actually belong to the same picture. Things take an even stranger turn when astronomers trace its path backward through space. They find that 3IATLAS appears to come from nearly the same region of sky where the WOW signal originated in 1977. Not the exact same coordinates, but close enough that statistically, it should not be ignored. Think about that. The most mysterious radio transmission ever detected, and now a completely unique object that defies comet physics, both coming from the same part of the sky. The odds of that being random are incredibly small, and if 3IATLAS had been closer to Earth back in 1977, the WOW signal wouldn't have required the impossible energy output originally calculated. Instead of needing the power of some planetary-scale transmitter, it could have been sent with an energy level comparable to a large nuclear reactor on a spacecraft, still extremely advanced, but suddenly within the realm of the possible. And there's another clue. The WOW signal showed a blue shift, which meant the source was moving toward Earth at about 10 kilometers per second. Today, 3IATLAS is traveling at around 60 kilometers per second. If this object is capable of changing its speed, then its velocity in 1977 could have been much lower, which means it could have been the sender. Then we hit the mystery of the green glow. Some comets turn green due to diatomic carbon reacting with sunlight, but 3IATLAS appears to be carbon depleted. It should not be able to glow green at all, yet it does. The observation and the theory simply do not match. It's a direct contradiction of comet chemistry. And finally, the nickel anomaly. Telescopes have detected large amounts of nickel gas in the clouds surrounding the object, but almost no iron. In every comet ever studied, nickel and iron appear together in stable ratios. But not here, and even more impossible. The comet isn't close enough to the sun to heat metals into vapor, yet nickel is present in the gas anyway, meaning something is releasing it. And whatever that something is, it's not explained by natural physics. 3IATLAS is behaving like an object that does not belong to any category we've ever had. Typically, comets have to get much closer to the sun before metals begin to appear in their spectra. The fact that we're seeing nickel at this distance means something unusual is happening either on the surface of this object or deep inside it. The data from the European Very Large Telescope tracked 3IATLAS between about 314 and 2.14 astronomical units from the sun. Throughout that entire stretch, nickel showed up clearly and consistently. Iron, on the other hand, barely appeared at all, and only in tiny trace amounts when the object moved closer than 2.64 AU. Even then, the levels of iron were far below what would be expected in any natural comet. This pattern doesn't fit anything we've seen before, which means whatever is producing the nickel around 3IATLAS is operating under principles that are fundamentally different from normal comet chemistry. When you step back and look at all the anomalies together, the picture becomes clear. This object turns green even though it lacks the carbon needed to produce that color. It releases nickel gas at temperatures where metals shouldn't vaporize. And it contains almost no iron, even though iron should be present right alongside nickel if it formed naturally. All of this taken together doesn't just bend the rules of comet science, it breaks them. This is the point where some scientists start to wonder if we're looking at evidence of something artificial. If nickel is being released without iron, one explanation could be manufacturing waste. If an advanced civilization was producing nickel-based alloys or repairing structures inside the object, any excess or unwanted material could be vented into space, creating the unusual spectral signature we're observing. That would also explain the green glow. If artificial lighting or power systems were operating on or inside the object, they could be emitting green wavelengths for reasons unrelated to carbon chemistry. The glow might not be natural at all. It could be a side effect of technology. And then there's the connection to the WOW signal. If 3IATLAS was the source of the 1977 transmission, it may have been performing a long-range scan of our solar system. The signal could have been a type of planetary radar, sweeping space for signs of life. Once the survey was done, the object could have altered course for a closer approach. Which brings us to the most obvious question of all. Why hasn't anyone pointed a radio telescope directly at this object? With everything we know, the anomalies, the path alignment, the chemistry contradictions, listening for artificial signals seems like the most straightforward thing to do. We have the technology. Facilities like SOHO and other major observatories could easily detect transmissions if they exist. If 3IATLAS is artificial, there may already be communication signals or navigation beacons coming from it. Without listening, we would never know. So far, most observations have focused on optical and spectroscopic data. That tells us what the object is made of, but not what it might be doing. Radio astronomy would allow us to detect the kind of signals that no natural object could produce. Even if no signals are found, that result would still help narrow down the possibilities. The scientific community is cautious. They know extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, but the list of unexplained behaviors surrounding this object keeps growing. And at some point, caution becomes hesitation. Hesitation that could cost us the chance to confirm something unprecedented. Atlas deserves every instrument we have, including radio listening. Because if this object really is what it appears to be, then this may be the closest humanity has ever come to knowing we are not alone. We are not alone.